hail. While it wasn't necessarily the largest, it was still coming down with some video of, surfaces covered in white balls.
Right.
And that was in areas near Berlin, Franklin. So it was something we continued to track. But I had quite a few people, in fact, send me videos of the sheets of heavy rain coming down. Pewaukee was one of the highest at 2.6 inches.
Couple of big swaths. One that ran basically from Watertown across Waukesha into parts of Milwaukee County. Another one, Rock County, Walworth County. And those spots, numerous places reporting 2 or 3 inches almost, at least. And there's a great example. Pewaukee, there, 2.6. Waukesha at 2.48. Officially, the airport picked up 0.82. And some of our south counties that have actually been a little drier, despite everything else going on, actually picked up a bit of rain. I had a Facebook person chatting with me this morning saying, happy to have the ½ inch that we picked up in Oak Creek, because yes, those south counties, that southeast portion of our viewing area, is actually still in an abnormally dry stretch. So a little bit more widespread yesterday, much calmer today here, but we were not alone in this.
No, we weren't. There were other areas of the country impacted by severe storms, and this, while it was not here, it was captured by a storm chaser, Chad Casey, in Strawn, west of Fort Worth. That's in Texas. It shows the camera just before the storm moved above landmark smokestack in it's a little cut off there on the screen, but it is
Erith County.
Erith County, there we go. Those in their area saw a lot of rain. Of course, they saw this supercell structure and the sunset as well, illuminating the sky, giving it this reddish orange tint. But I mean, if I saw that coming towards my house, and I've done a lot of storm chasing in Texas, it's beautiful from far, but it's very scary when it's close to you.
As it gets closer, for sure. It's incredible colors there, but again, it's that beauty, even though the destructive beauty as well. In fact, also in Texas, the city of Sanger, which is just northwest of Dallas, it was hit very hard. In fact, one woman was killed there. We don't yet know the full extent of the storm's impact, but Ticia Mazinga of FOX4 in Dallas, she's on the scene, and she has what we do know.
Well, we do know that one person was taken to the Denton Presbyterian Hospital after yesterday's storm hit the McLean Longhorn RV park. Now, we did get video of what the scene looked like today, and we did see a couple of RVs flipped over after yesterday's storm. We did see it maybe up to 5 of them. Plus, there was on and off rain throughout the morning on this Monday. So we did see some people try to come out of their campers to assess and see some of the debris that was on the ground and damage as well. Across the highway from that RV park is also reports of damage from 2 warehouses. One of them being a warehouse that is empty, that has no name either. And we're learning from crew members that it is very new. There is a 50-foot wide hole in the roof of this warehouse you're seeing on your screen in Sanger. So the National Weather Service, they are determining that it was caused by a straight line wind rather than a tornado. We are learning this afternoon as well. And the storm that moved through around 5:30 Sunday afternoon also blew over several semi-trucks and caused a partial roof collapse at a nearby Walmart distribution center as well, not far from the video you're seeing right now of the other warehouse, where there is a 50-foot hole there as well. But the good news about the 2 warehouse reports is that no injuries have been reported to both the Walmart distribution center warehouse as well as the warehouse just north of it, where there is a 50-foot hole in the roof. Ticia Mazinga, Fox 4 News.
Incredible video there. Thank you so much for that report.
Yeah, and sometimes that aerial footage gives you, a full perspective of the widespread damage that something can cause rather than just having our eyes on the ground.
Be interesting to get the follow-up from the National Weather Service locally there. And of course, if we get it back from them, we'll get it to you. That's what we're here for.
And continuing on the topic of storms, take a look at this wild image caught on camera. A photographer in Cabo Rojo, Puerto Rico, recorded what he described as upside-down lightning. It really is kind of spectacular. It looks like something you'd see, from the Hubble telescope. Now, the lightning appears to shoot up from the ground. Now, NASA classifies this as a rare kind of transient luminous event, or TLE. It's also known as a gigantic jet. These jets are powerful electrical discharges that erupt from the top of a thunderstorm and travel into the upper atmosphere. So even though it looks like the lightning starts on the ground, it actually was starting in the cloud.
There you go. But there is ground to cloud
There
lightning,
is.
just as there is cloud to ground lightning. It's wherever that final connection is made with the energy, so that can come from the ground up. And there's cloud to cloud too.
Yep, there is. So there's a
it's-
lot of different kinds where those charges can go all
Right.
over, which also is when there's thunderstorms, you want to stay inside, because in that photo it looked a little clear too, and you can still have lightning discharge from a storm many miles out from it. But it was a really spectacular capture.
Well, and
to
that's
have
where
on video.
heat lightning comes from, is actually distant storms, and it often happens on a hot evening, so it's got the nickname heat lightning, but it's actually just distant storms lighting up the horizon.
And some people that question, well, heat lightning, even though the term is thrown around if it's not a thing, if it is a thing, but you're right, it's normally when it's warm.
Right.
And the reason why we don't hear anything is because it's so far away that light travels farther and faster than sound. So because of that, we see it, but we don't have the sound waves of the expansion of the air coming to our ear, so we don't hear any of it.
Lightning is fascinating.
It's cool. It's
There's
my favorite.
We could go into ball lightning and so many other things, but we have many other stories to share. One that kind of gets back here to home, right?
Yeah, and we're continuing to talk about the catastrophic flooding that we had last month. We energy workers are almost finished now with replacing more than 1,000 natural gas meters following last month's event. Today, crews replaced meters along 11th Street near the Kinnickinnick River, where floodwater damaged gas meters by exposing them to dirt and debris, and that led to meters becoming rusty and deteriorating. We Energy's senior field operations surveyors say homeowners can rest easy now, knowing that their utility equipment is working properly.
Homeowners should know that we're just replacing our equipment out of an abundance of caution to avoid kind of faster degradation of some of our equipment that may have been affected by the floodwaters. So it's mostly for safety reasons that we're doing this.
And
It's good that they are doing this and keeping an eye on it. We Energy's replaced meters outside and inside homes. Customers will not be charged for the replacements.
There you go. Good to know you're being charged properly.
Correct.
Wouldn't
I mean,
want
you're
to be
paying for
overcharged.
your bills anyways. Least they could do is
My
have safe
Energy's
equipment.
bill is big enough as it is.
Me
I
too.
want to make sure I'm not paying for stuff I'm not even getting,
Yeah.
right? And of course, just around the corner, we've got cranberry season, right? Yeah, so we're going to talk about the cranberry growers beginning to harvest this year's crops. The latest USDA National Agricultural Statistics report, and the services there, they're projecting a 5.3 million barrel harvest for the state of Wisconsin. Wisconsin has around 25,000 acres of cranberry fields. One farmer says shoppers nowadays are looking for low sugar options in their cranberries.
they're after what the consumer wants, and that's elimination of sugar, added sugar. Like the buyer's always right.
He says in Wisconsin, cranberries are king for the newest crop. His team hand-planted 56,000 per bed. The Wisconsin State Cranberry Growers Association says 67% of the world, 67%,
Yeah.
2/3 of the world cranberry crop can be traced back to Wisconsin growers.
I've always wanted to go to one of these fields. Have you been? They have them in northern portions of Wisconsin.
haven't. Not here. I've seen cranberry bogs before, and it is
Yeah.
fascinating during harvest time. So if you get a chance to go, I would recommend it. I'll probably add it to my Wisconsin to-do list to do as well. Now, one of our to-do list things right now is to get down to the regional outlook leading into the weekend. Looks spectacular. Few things to get through first.
Definitely a few things. You know, with those cranberry fields, they actually flood them to harvest them. And we've had a little bit of flooding in our area, especially with the heavy showers that have moved through from the weekend into the start of this week. But thankfully, the entire state of Wisconsin is getting a break from the rain. That is staying off to our south as the series of low pressure systems and fronts are continuing to push most of the showers into portions of Michigan as well as Chicago, while we're continuing to track from the Rockies down near the Mississippi River Valley, a heavy round of showers and thunderstorms, and that's even trailing towards the east East Coast. So we are going to have more areas dealing with flooding concerns and severe weather as we head through the day today. Notice where we're watching for the higher risk right now of severe storms. In fact, within the past hour or so, they have upgraded portions of Oklahoma heading into Arkansas under an enhanced risk, and there is a very high threat for tornadoes there today. But that is just one portion of the area. We're also extending near New York and to the south of that an additional little zone of some marginal showers that could be strong as well. We're expanding that main region, though, we were just talking about with the higher threat for severe storms, and of course on radar we noticed that's where the rain was falling for a slight risk of flooding. And unfortunately, this area has been dealing with a period over the past several days of rain, showers, and storms moving through. We're continuing to track still some flash flood warnings right on the border again of Tennessee heading into portions of Alabama, a more widespread area where a flood watch is placed in southern portions of Missouri heading into Arkansas. And this is not a very good range to have this because there's a lot of mountainous terrain out there that also is going to cause a concern for people who may be at the campsites, hiking, or doing any kind of these recreational activities, which are very favorable in the fall months. Take a look, though, across Missouri right now. We're still building this complex, pushing through, and eventually will be making its way towards St. Louis as well as the Heartland area. This is going to be the zone where we could be tracking anywhere from 2, maybe up to 4, or even isolated spots could be close to 5 inches of rain. So throughout the upcoming days, the Ozarks and heading south will have the bigger impact in terms of the rain there. Heading into the southwest, though, while we're not seeing much right now, if we could see low pressure, we would notice it in the sky because it is sitting in the upper levels of the atmosphere there and is going to continue to cause a threat for some flooding, possibly there as well as Southern California. And keep in mind that these regions, since early this week, also are dealing with monsoonal rains causing flooding and flash flooding on roadways. So very dry terrain, also going to have a problem in some of those areas that have burn scars. That's where we could have more flooding concerns today as well as tomorrow too. Let's take a look, though, at those low pressures right now. While they're conjoined with a series of fronts, we will be watching this low pressure move eastward as we head through the next few days. What does that mean for Wisconsin? Well, as we move through today, it's not going to have much of an impact for northern and central portions of the state, but notice the clouds will remain on the thicker side right along that border. As we head into Wednesday and Thursday, we'll have to watch the exact track of that low. If that low stays further south, I think a lot of us are looking at staying dry right now in the forecast. If it moves further north, we could incorporate a few more showers right along the border. But either way, we'll still have moisture circulating around the backside of that low by Wednesday afternoon to Thursday. That could bring in a few more additional sprinkles or light showers off of the lake. So chances of rain, especially here locally throughout the upcoming week, look to be low. As we head into the weekend, we're really favored to be dry and having summer-like conditions return yet again. It's going to be when this low eventually moves away from us. We are looking at having a blocking pattern in the atmosphere, the omega blocking pattern. And the way it's looking to be set up with the jet stream, Milwaukee and in portions of the Great Lakes region and Great Plains, we are looking to have a ridge of high pressure near us. That is going to bring us dry, sunny conditions, but also warmer temperatures back in the forecast. For today, though, we are expected to have temperatures ranging from the 60s to 70s. Will be more seasonable as we head through the middle of the week, but another push of warmer temperatures get us into the upper 70s by the weekend. And as we take a look ahead, wrapping up September into October, almost the entire nation is expected to have warmer than average temperatures. That will include us right here in Milwaukee. So we're going to continue to track, yes, the warmer stretch ahead. I know we want some of the crisp fall air with us, but you know, we're going to hang on to those summer temps. You can just, Rob, you've been telling me you've been biting into some of your apples from the orchard. Just bite into a crisp apple. It'll equate it out.
It makes things so much nicer when you have your own crisp, freshly picked apples. So much nicer indeed. So yes, we do have a new season in that fall started officially yesterday. It continues to be hurricane season though, and this is new video of Hurricane Gabrielle swirling in the Atlantic. Right now, the storm is a massive Category 4. Parts of the storm reached Bermuda on Sunday. causing disastrous surf, rip currents across the East Coast as well. In Volusia County, Florida, crews say there were over 200 rescues this weekend alone. Right now, the National Hurricane Center is advising those in the Azores and the archipelago there to keep close watch on Gabrielle. Then we have Hong Kong bracing for what experts say is the most powerful storm this year. Typhoon Regasa hit the Philippines, causing destructive winds and torrential rain, prompting evacuations. As it makes its way towards Hong Kong, they've scaled back operations with schools and businesses and closures there, and of course flight cancellations across the region. The observatory in Hong Kong will issue storm warning signal number 8. That's the third highest in their form of the weather alert system. So some very intense tropical scene and of course typhoon scene as well. We're back with more Wisconsin weather experts on the other side of this. Stick around.
Welcome back to Wisconsin Weather Experts. Now, we've done a lot of traveling, at least in my department, to Alaska,
right.
But we're going to go to another meteorologist that's been doing some traveling too recently.
Not me. I've been here the whole time. But Chief Meteorologist Tom Wachs did manage to get a little farther north, not quite as far as Alaska, but he went up to my home country of Canada. Check it out.
Well, I want to take you back to a trip that I had in the Canadian Rockies. Let me step out of the way. This, is an actual glacier. You can walk on a glacier here in Alberta, Canada. This is north of Banff, if you've heard of Banff before. Look at this. I mean, absolutely stunning beauty standing on a glacier here. And not only that, that of course is fresh glacier water that you see there. Of course, this glacier continues to melt as our Earth continues to warm, but this is just a beautiful, beautiful, very peaceful sight. So they take you right up to the glacier there and you're able to walk on an actual glacier. How cool is that? Called the Columbia Ice Field there in Canada. Truly breathtaking. Well, this is another view of it here. This is another view of the glacier. I mean, just absolutely stunning scenery here in Canada. Now I want to take you to Lake Minnewanka. This is near Banff in the Canadian Rockies. Let me step out of the way. Yeah, this is not filtered at all, by the way. There is no filter on this. Look at the crystal clear blue water, just the gorgeous scenes here. And what makes this so cool is that not only is it absolutely picturesque and beautiful, the waters of Lake Minnewanka are very, very cold. Now, this is not far from the town of Banff, which I'll be talking more about in another episode of this, but this is maybe about 10-15 minutes outside of Banff. So we took a boat ride across the lake and around the lake, and it was just really cool. But what's wild about this is there is actually an old resort town submerged underneath the water. I did not have an opportunity to see that, but apparently scuba divers are able to go down and you can still see some of the remnants of that old ghost town that once existed in this area. And apparently fishing is phenomenal here as well. But I'm telling you, everywhere you look, the views are just absolutely stunning. So if you've never been to the Canadian Rockies before, this is not far from Calgary, Alberta. That would be the city that we flew into, and then it was about an hour-and-a-half car ride to get up to the Banff area, and then add about another 2.5 hours from there to get up to the glacier. So a lot of impressive scenery here. Again, the photos really don't do it justice, but you can see, I mean, look at the blue waters, which I would characterize as just as good, if not better, than Caribbean waters. You know, that turquoise that you see in the Caribbean? I would argue that this was just as stunning, if not even more beautiful. What an absolutely amazing trip it has been. I would highly suggest the Canadian Rockies. A lot of education and a lot of beauty.
It's a beautiful part of the planet. Yeah, for sure. I was there years ago. And yeah, Banff is beautiful. Lake Louise, absolutely gorgeous. And if you get the chance to go up to Jasper National Park, it's a very rugged, you know, pristine place, a lot of wildlife. You know, just hang out on the roads and wait. Speaking of wildlife, there's some bears making news.
Well, yes, we're talking about bears. I was telling Rob I saw this same live footage when I was in Alaska, and the bears in the Alaska Peninsula are ready for Fat Bear Week. Yes, that's a real thing.
Oh, dear.
We're actually going to take a live look at some of the competitors because this is an annual online voting contest that starts today, and it's to showcase the resiliency of brown bears, how much weight they can gain each fall in order to survive the harsh winters. Now, there is a bracket that, yes, you even at home can go online. The event will run through next Tuesday, the 30th, where they will vote on the fattest bear around. If you do want to watch the bears live and vote on them, you can go to fatbearweek.org, and I will say, watching them live eat the salmon, it is the most enjoyable thing.
That's right.
So,
and remember, this is a positive thing.
Yes, it
we
is.
are positive about this because I know fat can be a negative, but when it comes to these bears, they need to get fat. So it's a win for them.
They do.
All right, well, after going through about 8,000 applicants, NASA is and has picked its next class of astronauts. Out of those applicants, the agency selected the group. It features a mix of scientists, engineers, and test pilots. And for the first time, you'll like this, I think, Lisa. There were more women than there were men in a NASA astronaut class. The new class will undergo 2 years of training before they're eligible for spaceflight. NASA says one of them may be the first person to step foot on Mars. We're going to stay here on the blue planet, and we'll be right back. All right, quick reality check that, yeah, we are in fall, but winter is around the corner. Hockey season is fast approaching, and the ice at the UWM Panther Arena went in today. It takes all day for the Crews to get this in. Admirals home opener Saturday, October 18th. I will see you there. You know I'm a big fan. And of course, winter ice hockey also going to be a very busy season for us in the weather department. So make sure you watch us every day. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Good afternoon, Carl Defmaw hanging with you here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Happy to be with you on Fox Local or the FOX6 Milwaukee YouTube channel, wherever you're checking us out from on this Tuesday afternoon. We have a lot for you, I'll just be honest, over the next couple hours. Both our team of reporters around southeastern Wisconsin covering some stories of the day that will certainly be of interest and of note to you, as well as a lot happening just in general today. A lot of this around an appearance by President Donald Trump at the United Nations General Assembly today. And that General Assembly meeting continues as we speak right now. There's been a series of different leaders and speakers from around the world. Time that the president has addressed the